The Stateless Souls, the Chakma Struggle in Arunachal Pradesh, produced by Aman. Chakma's film has been conceptualized, written, and produced by Aman Chakma after extensive research drawn from historical records, legal documents, academic sources, human rights reports, and first-hand narratives. Every effort has been made to present the facts with accuracy, balance, and integrity. If any detail appears incomplete, unintentionally omitted, or in conflict with alternate records, it is not by design but a reflection of the challenges in documenting a story often neglected in mainstream discourse. This work is not an absolute version of history, but an earnest attempt to illuminate a truth long ignored. It is created not as a political provocation, but as a call for recognition, empathy, and justice. A voice for the voiceless. A mirror to the nation's conscience. Lush visuals of the Siang River at dawn, sweeping over misty valleys of Arunachal Pradesh. In the ethereal hills of Arunachal Pradesh, land of the dawn-lit mountains, reside the people unseen, unheard, and unclaimed. This is the story of the Chakmas, a people displaced, not once but forever suspended between the promise of home and the cruelty of rejection. In 1960, archival footage captures boats crossing the Karnafuli River as refugee camps begin to take shape. In 1964, driven out of their ancestral homeland in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, the Chakmas were forced to flee due to religious persecution and the drowning of their lands by the Kaptai Dam. India opened her arms. A rehabilitation program was launched. They were settled in the then Nepha, today's Arunachal Pradesh. But what was offered as refuge slowly turned into exclusion. Modern-day protests by OPSU, footage from 2021 to 2025, slogans demanding deportation. Decades later, the same community, now generations deep in this land, is still labeled an outsider. The All Arunachal Pradesh Students' Union OPSU, once a symbol of youth aspiration, has become an active voice calling for the expulsion of Chakmas and Hijans, citing threats to tribal demography. Their protests are frequent, vocal, and increasingly aggressive. These demonstrations are not just political gestures, they are creating a climate of fear and uncertainty, challenging the security, and endangering the livelihood of thousands of Chakmas. Interview clip. A Chakma mother preparing rice over fire, her voice subdued but steady. Mother, we are told we don't belong. But where do my children go? This is the only sky they've seen. Footage. News clips. 2022 to 2025 protests in Itanagar. Insert. Kiran Rijiju speech excerpt. And then came the words of Union Minister Kiran Rijiju calling for their deportation and claiming citizenship will be granted only to those who deserve it. Not as policy, but as threat. His public remarks, made without compassion and devoid of constitutional clarity, have amplified hatred and incited anxiety. They echo in the narrow lanes of Chakma villages not as announcements, but as alarms. These comments have sparked fresh waves of mental harassment, depression, and social unrest, leaving an already traumatized people more vulnerable than ever before. Montage. 1994 malaria blockade. Newspaper clippings. 1 for 4 Chakmas died. When a malaria epidemic swept through the Chakma camps in 1994, medical aid was blockaded. 144 died. This is not just protest. This is punishment. Empty classrooms. Children in makeshift schools. A youth wiping sweat at a construction site in Delhi. The Chakma children are barred from government schools. Their youth denied state jobs. No scholarships. No protection. A citizenship in legal limbo. Where opportunity ends, migration begins. They leave for cities to survive but not to live. Close-up of a Chakma child reading under a lantern, fading into a montage of culture, rituals, prayers. And still, they dream. Dream of being more than just a vote less statistic. Dream of dignity, of inclusion, of a homeland that doesn't keep asking them to leave. Why does a land that once promised sanctuary now push them to the edge? What crime have they committed except survival? When will this great democracy embrace all its people, not just the ones it chooses to remember? A Chakma elder sitting silently by a riverbank, children playing in the background. The Chakmas are not outsiders. They are not threats. They are threads woven into India's vast and intricate fabric. And until justice finds them, their voice will rise not in anger, but in persistence. Fade to black. The Stateless Souls, The Chakma Struggle in Arunachal Pradesh, a film by Aman Chakma 2025. Disclaimer. This documentary film is a creative, intellectual, and humanistic endeavor based on extensive research, public history, legal records, and the lived experiences of the Chakma community in Arunachal Pradesh. It is a narrative woven through the lens of empathy and justice. The events and struggles portrayed in this film reflect real systemic issues and humanitarian concerns, but the characters and dramatizations depicted are not intended to represent any specific individual or entity unless explicitly stated. Any resemblance is purely coincidental and dramatized for illustrative purposes. This film does not seek to incite violence, hatred, or enmity toward any community, institution, or governing body. It stands firmly against all forms of discrimination and extremism, be it cultural, political, or ethnic. Our aim is to open space for meaningful dialogue, not deepen division. We believe truth, when spoken with compassion, can be a bridge, not a battle. The suffering of the Chakma people is real, documented, and ongoing. Their voices deserve a platform, one grounded in dignity, respect, and a shared aspiration for a more just and inclusive India. Produced with conscience, told with courage, shared with hope. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
One last breath beneath the stars, one last chord upon the